And I'll start working on the UI. In the project folder, you found a folder called sprites that has a couple of sprites in it, one called card BG. Let me just select it here, show it to you. Here the preview. So this is the card BG, is just a black background, and then you have the card sprite that we're going to use on our UI. And we'll get started by creating a UI canvas on our project. And we are going to change on the canvas scaler, change it from constant pixel size to scale with screen size. And we'll keep, for now, we'll keep the reference resolution to 800 by 600, and we'll change it later. But for now, it's good enough. So, on our canvas, we'll start by adding an image. And let's call it card BG1. And I'm going to position it here on, we are actually looking it from behind. We're going to position it on the left side. And I'm going to set the source image of these to my, I need to change the texture type of the images to sprite. Click apply. And now we can use them on the canvas. So select my background and apply the sprite. There is a preserve aspect, so it won't get distorted. And now, since I've already set my canvas to go back there to scale with screen size, you can see that the image is already properly rescaled as I rescale my canvas. Maybe it is a little bit too big, so let's just scale it up a little down. And I'm going to duplicate it twice because we're gonna have three cards on our level. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to rename them card BG1, card BG2, card BG3. And now I am going to add another image. And I'm going to start by adding them as children, just so they have the same position. But then I will actually didn't have the same position, so did a lot of good, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to change now this image to my card sprite, preserve aspect, and if I position it exactly in the same position as the background, you can see that I now show this card with like the black outline of the background. I'm going to rename it to card 1, duplicate it, move it to the side, align it, card 2, and again for card 3. But of course, these 3 objects, they're going to start disabled, and as I pick up my cards, I want them to show up. Great, so now that I have my UI set up, I'm going to go to scripts, and I'm going to create a C# script called UI controller. And let's open it up. And we'll start by setting up our variables. I'll have an array of images called card images. Looks like I am missing a reference here, so let's use Unity engine.ui. And I also gonna have a private key count. Cool. Oh, of course, private int key count. on start just to reset things. I set key count to 0. And now I will, I'm going to delete my update for now. Don't need it. And I'm going to create a function called public void update UI. And this is a public function because that's the function that's going to be called when I actually pick up a card. And you're going to see how we'll set it up later in the video. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do a key count plus plus. And then I will, not the most optimized way of doing it, but since I'm not going to do it a lot of times, only when we're picking up a key, that is good enough for our purpose. So I'm going to iterate over my card images, and I am going to enable them. Great. Now, this is good enough for now. I'm going to save this script. And I'm going to jump back on my card pickup controller script, which for now I'm simply disabling the card and printing the debug log. And I'm going to create a Unity event variable, Unity event called onKeyPickup, and we are missing a reference here, which is, let's see, using Unity Engine events. Great. So now instead of doing the debug log, just going to comment it for now. When things are working, I'll delete it. OnKeyPickup invoke. So I'm going to call this Unity event. I'm going to save this. The UI controller is saved already. Let's get back to Unity. And now I'm going to start by selecting my canvas. And I'm going to add the UI controller script to the canvas, and I'm going to add the card images to my list of cards. Card 1, card 2, and card 3. Now, back to my key card. Let's rename it to card so it's easier to find. And here in the script, since I've created that onKeyPickup event, I have over here my key pickup event that I can set up. So here I'm going to define what function I'm going to call when I pick up my key. And on the object, I'm going to put my canvas. And on function, I'm going to go to my UI controller, update UI. And let's see what happens when I pick up the key. I'm going to run my game. And here's my key, and I pick it up, and it didn't work. Let's try to find out what happened. Okay, so having a quick look here, the mistake I made was that I've actually disabled the game objects when I should have disabled the image component. Because if we go back to the script, we have an array of images, and I'm enabling the image as through, not the game object. So now it should be working. Let's have a look. Press play. And here's my player, and here's the key. And if I walk towards it, I pick it up, and the key shows up in my inventory. Let's just duplicate my key cards. Make like 3 of them. And see what happens when I pick up number 2 and number 3. Okay, press play. And here's 1, 2, and 3. There you have it. All of them being shown on our UI. And another cool and useful aspect that we used in this video is the Unity events calling the canvas UI from my script without necessarily needing to have a reference toward on the script. So we have started to do our UI, and now we'll move forward, adding more logic to our game scene in the next videos.